This could be my shortest review to date. Nothing major has changed with the S25 except for one key feature which I'll share in this review. The only way you can tell the difference between the S24 and the S25 is its colour choice. They've offered a new colour palette and I have the icy blue, which is great when you get it in the right light. So you have to really turn your device, get it in that right light to enjoy it. So if you have better eyesight than mine, you will notice that the antenna bars have moved slightly and the device is slightly thinner at 7.2mm and only weighs 162 grams. So slight differences there from the S24 range. When checking out our device from different angles, you'll notice it has Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and back and an Armour aluminium frame 2 around its edge. Your SIM tray is located at the bottom of your device and can be used as a dual SIM or the option of eSIM, and sadly no SD card option available here. A slight negative point here relating to accessibility is the power and volume keys are tactily the same. The only difference is the size of the volume key being slightly larger over the power button. So for me, being vision impaired, I'll notice the size options between the two keys, but it'd been nice if there'd been a subtle hint of a colour or a tactile difference in a bump on the power button. It's a small and compact design, which is a plus actually. Having our larger devices such as the Ultra or the Pro Max, actually having a smaller compact design is really beneficial for most people. For myself, I prefer to have a bigger screen, but I do enjoy the brightness and the large options that you can change in the accessibility settings. We have stereo speakers, with the larger speaker being at the bottom near your USB-C port, which is 3.2 connection, and also offers a DisplayPort 1.2 option, so for Samsung decks. The other speaker is at the top near the top of your display. Both speakers are not as loud as last year's model, but offers a solid sound when listening to podcasts, YouTube videos, or immersing yourself in the world of gaming. However, setting it at 50% seems to be the best option. When it's a little bit higher, it seems a little bit trapped or a little bit canned, so it seems like it's stuck in there. So we're supposed to be in spring here in the UK, but that isn't the case. Thankfully, with the IP68 water and dust resistance, I'll be able to go out in the rain. Hopefully it won't find a puddle that's more deeper than 1.5 meters, but there is a lot of potholes around. But I can last up to 30 minutes, so there's no need to worry. I can jump out of that puddle and be home, dry off my phone with no issues. So we cannot speak about the design without mentioning the display. I've always enjoyed using the Samsung display as it's bright, vibrant, and brings your colours alive. It's really powerful and I really like that, and that's thanks to its brightness and also the colour palette that Samsung uses. It seems to be pushing the contrast a little bit higher and making those colours pop. And that's thanks to its display being a dynamic LTPO 6.2 AMOLED 2X display with a resolution of 1080p by 2340 with 120Hz refresh rate, HDR10+, 600 nits brightness, and max peak brightness of 1395. I think they class it as 1400. And also you have an always on display, so a lot of things to take in there. A couple of things that I really like is HDR10+, so that means your content and colours will look great, deeper blacks, more brighter colours. And then also with your variable refresh rate, you're able to switch between 1, 24 and 120 Hz depending on what you're doing. So if you're scrolling through news feeds or your social media feeds, it'll flick through very quickly. But on the flip side, when you're using the always on display and it's just laid on your desk or sat down somewhere, it may be just using that 1 Hz to provide the image that you need to see. With the latest Samsung Galaxy S25 range, it comes with Android 15 and One UI 7 and the peace of mind of 7 years of OS and security updates. So that's 2032, which is incredible. So 7 years of Android, you're looking at Android potentially 22, which is just mind-boggling. I must say, One UI 7 is really enjoyable. I've really liked what Samsung have done here. They've made it a little bit more smoother and they've actually they've not made it so blocky. It feels really comfortable to use and I've really enjoyed my experience. So talking about your chipset and your power and performance, this is where the big difference is. So this is that one point that you needed to know for this review, is that it has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite 3mm chipset, and this is the biggest change over the S25. S24 range, as in the S24 range here in the EU and outside of the US, it used the Exynos chipset, which last year was disappointing. And I'm really pleased to see the Snapdragon 8 Elite being used here, because that will help with AI performance and enhance your gaming experience. So it's an octa-core processor with variant speeds and a GPU of Adreno 830. By gaming and using AI that's throughout this device to assist with that and the heavy usage of your device, the cooling vapor chamber is 15% larger on this model compared to the S24. It is disappointing to see that Samsung are still only offering 128GB as its starting storage option. You can also choose between 256 or 512GB of storage. All of these come with fast UFS 4.0 storage, so movement of data will be quick and snappy. There is no option as a micro SD card, and that is disappointing, but that's very common these days, as I've already mentioned. From 128GB to 512GB will come with 12GB of RAM. The S25 still offers a 4000 mAh battery that is only able to charge at 25 watts wired, which seems to be a little slow for 2025. We see some devices now with like 65 watts, 45 watts, 50 watts. There's no power brick in the box, so you do need to go and buy a separate one. Most of us have power bricks anyway, or most of us will connect via device or wirelessly charge, which you could do with 15 watts wireless charging, and it is Qi 2 ready for wireless charging, which is great. There's 4.5 watts reverse wireless charging. I remember it's there sometimes and I use it sometimes, but it's one of those things, is it used all the time? So let me know, what device do you reverse wirelessly charge? So I'm looking forward to reading those in the comments. On a positive though, I must admit the battery seems to last longer compared to the S24, even though it's the same size, but the battery management and Android 15 and One UI 7 seems to keep it working, which is a great positive for me. The top feature of all smartphones is its camera, not its ability to make a phone call. When did someone call you, or when did you last call someone? We're always texting, but the camera is a key feature, and most people will choose their device depending on the camera and the way the pictures look. There is no difference though compared to the S24 range, which is disappointing. However, the cameras will allow you to capture your world and ready to share crisp, clean images from day or even with the night. One point though is low level light. It makes you jump into night mode very quickly. Your front facing camera offers a 12 megapixel f2.2. This is a wide lens, dual pixel and phase detection autofocus, HDR, HDR10+, the ability to record at 4K at 30 or 60 frames per second, 1080p at 30 frames per second. Switching around to the rear camera, and this is a triple camera setup, the first one being a 50 megapixel wide sensor which has an f1.8 aperture, dual pixel, phase detection autofocus and optical image stabilization. Then you have your 10 megapixel f2.4 sensor, which is your telephoto lens, phase detection, OIS, 3 times optical zoom. Above 3 times optical zoom, you'll notice a soften of edges, a little bit blurry, that may be my eyesight seeing it, but also manages to pick up details very crisp and very clear as long as you stay in that 3 times optical zoom. Then finally rounding up with my favourite, which is a 12 megapixel f2.2 120 degrees field of view ultra wide lens, offers a super steady video, best face feature, LED flash, auto HDR, panorama and so much more. When it comes to video recording, this is where Samsung are really stepping up the game here, with 8K being available on the S25 range. I know this is pretty common now, we've seen it for a long time, but 8K at 24 or 30 frames per second, 4K at 30 or 60 frames per second, so 1080p at 30, 60, 120 and 240 frames per second, 10-bit HDR, HDR10+, and you've got your stereo sound recording, the gyro EIS, so electronic image stabilization. And I must say the EIS video is great. So the electronic image stabilization when filming a video is really nice and steady. You don't see much too juttering or like movement when I'm walking. The camera settings in the app have changed as well. So in the bottom section now is where all your settings are that you can jump in and change your resolution. You can set if you want grid lines or if you want different options inside here. You just jump in there and it's a big big plus here. Looking forward to using that more. AI is moving forward at a rapid pace, and with the S25 range coming with 12GB of RAM and Snapdragon 8 Elite, it is pushing the limits, and a blend of Bixby and Gemini used. By pressing that power button to help you deal with getting facts, it uses Gemini, and requiring actions, it will use Bixby. So adding something to my calendar will be Bixby, or getting apps to load up, that will be Bixby. But if I want factual information, it will be Gemini. You can even have a chat with Gemini, which is great. You can have like a discussion ongoing about the world and everything in between. There's a new tile you'll notice on your lock screen or home screen, which is called Now Brief. This will give you a personalized briefings throughout the day. So in the morning, you may get a rundown of what's happening from your calendar, updates of the weather and what's going on if you need to take an umbrella, and also any news information, so the latest score of your favorite team. It will learn and grow as you develop using your device. So one of the big pluses for me is the ability to use multi-app. Simple swipe over from the right hand side opens up an app drawer. So at the top section they have put in their AI apps, so like circle to search, translate and other options, and in the bottom section is your other app, and inside here you can choose to set one app at the top, one app in the middle, one app at the bottom, and you can resize these windows and have whatever you want. So for me, I was watching YouTube and playing a game. I could be watching YouTube and scrolling through social media. I could be watching a video on YouTube, my S25 review, so make sure to give that a like and subscribe, and think, oh, I want to go and purchase that. And thanks to Vodafone, who supplied this device for me to review, I would head over to their website and go and purchase it if I wanted to, so you can have multi-apps. I really like that. And having the AI in that top section as well can allow AI at your fingertips, and you can just jump around and do whatever you need to. One of the other key features of AI that I've used on this device is the Sound Studio, so easily get rid of unwanted background noise, and then you're able to share your videos. Even if you was having an interview with someone in a busy area or noisy area, you could get rid of that background noise and fine tune your audio you want, including voices, music, wind, and there's other options there. The other AI features that I've used is circle it, and you can find it, you can hear it, and it will find it for you. So AI is imposed across the device, and there's so many more features to use. AI Now Brief, the writing tools, AI Select. AI has improved, and when having a discussion with Gemini, you can actually hear us having a natural conversation, and that's thanks to natural language. There's AI video editing tools, as I've mentioned, picture editing as well, so jumping into your pictures. You can remove objects, add objects, and as a side note here, Bixby also has a range of accessibility features included as well. These don't sit in the accessibility settings, but that never minds, because Samsung are always leading the way with the high level of accessibility settings that are available. So on that note, let's bring my review to an end, and I must say it's an impressive device. There's some new key features, so one of them being the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor. You've also got the larger vapor chamber, but other than that, it's just a new color palette. If you have the S24, I'd stay with the S24. If you need any help or support, please leave a comment down below and I'll be more than happy to help. Thanks to Vodafone, who did supply this device for me to review. There is a link in the video description where you can go and choose the best plan for you. So if you need to find out even more information, I have also added a link to Samsung UK. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell to be updated when I share new videos. And there are some of my latest videos right here for you to check out now.